Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Renuka RS with the evening news. The headlines. NDA finalizes seat sharing for Bihar Assembly elections, BJP to contest 121 seats, JDU to field candidates in 122 constituencies. Centre releases SOPs to contain spread of COVID-19 for upcoming festival season. Quad foreign ministers of India, USA, Japan and Australia meet in Tokyo. Call for a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says new agriculture legislations will free farmers from shackles in marketing their products. And in IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians win the toss and elect to bat against Rajasthan Royals at Abu Dhabi. As the nation fights COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a note of precaution to stay safe and stay protected in 3 simple steps. Wear face masks, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, and focus on hand hygiene and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. In Bihar, BJP and JDU today formally announced seat sharing deal in NDA for state assembly elections. With larger share, the JDU will contest on 122 seats while the BJP will field its 121 candidates in 243-member state assembly. Making formal declaration of this in a joint press conference held in Patna, JDU President and Chief Minister Nitish Kumar said JDU has given 7 seats to Hindustani Awam Morcha HAM. This party is led by former Chief Minister Jitan Ram Manjhi.
जो जनता दल यू है उसके जिम्मे 122 सीटें दी गई हैं और जीतन राम मांझी जी की पार्टी को उसी के अंतर्गत हम लोगों ने 7 सीटें दी। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में 121 सीटें हैं और उसी के अंतर्गत इन लोगों की बातचीत जो इन्होंने बताया कि अंतिम चरण है विकासशील इंसान पार्टी के साथ, उसी के अंतर्गत उनको सीटें देंगे। हम लोग मिलकर काम कर रहे हैं और बिहार के विकास के लिए जो भी काम है वो किया गया है और इसके बाद भी आगे मिलजुल कर हम लोग काम करेंगे।
The detailed list of the candidates will be released later. Our correspondent has filed this report.
Except Hindustani Awam Morcha, the 2 parties, JDU and BJP, have not announced their formal list of candidates. Some candidates of JDU, Hindustani Awam Morcha and RJD have started filing their nominations for the first phase of assembly elections. So far, RJD and Congress have also not formally declared name of their candidates in Grand Alliance, but the new ally of Grand Alliance, the left parties, have released the candidate-wise list of their overall quota of 29. Among prominent candidates from JDU, State Transport Minister Santosh Nirala today filed his nomination from Rajpur Assembly constituency. Former Speaker of the State Assembly, Uday Narayan Chaudhary, filed nomination on RJD symbol from Imamganj Assembly constituency. Only 2 days are left for filing of nominations in the first phase. The scrutiny will be held on 9th of October. In this phase, polling will take place on 28th of October in 71 constituencies spread over 16 districts. With Dharmendra Kumar Rai from Patna, Swati Rakheja for AIR News.
In the press conference, senior BJP leader and Deputy Chief Minister Sushil Kumar Modi snubbed the Lok Janashakti Party LJP President Chirag Paswan over his statements of post-poll alliance and helping NDA. Sushil Modi said those who will accept the leadership of Nitish Kumar will be in the NDA. He said LJP is not in alliance with the NDA in Bihar. On some instances, the BJP leader warned other parties barring BJP, JDU and HAM to refrain from the use of name and pictures of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in elections. He said the party will approach the Election Commission in this regard to issue prohibitory orders under the Model Code of Conduct. BJP President JP Nadda today chaired the first meeting of the party's newly appointed national office bearers at the party headquarters in New Delhi. Addressing the office bearers, Mr. Nadda said, under the guidance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the party will fulfill the resolve of public service and upliftment of the nation. He said party will establish new records by connecting the people with the ideas of the organization. Briefing media in the evening, party General Secretary Dushyant Kumar Gautam said, Many topics were discussed in this meeting. He said Kisan Jagran Abhiyan will be taken to people and they will be informed that how Congress is opposing agricultural reform laws like the CAA for political selfishness. Mr. Gautam said that all the parties and their workers stayed in their homes during the crisis, but under the guidance of the party national president, the entire cadre of BJP remained in the ground with people. He said some of the party workers have sacrificed their lives. Mr. Gautam said the party will communicate with workers and the public about the labour reforms.
The Union Health Ministry today released standard operating procedures on preventive measures to contain spread of the COVID-19 during festivities. The months of October to December are time for festivities that witness gatherings of large number of people in specified locations for religious worship, fairs, rallies, exhibitions and cultural functions. The ministry said to prevent spread of COVID-19 infection, it is important that necessary preventive measures are followed for such events. Persons above 65 years of age, persons with comorbidities, pregnant women and children below the age of 10 years are advised to stay at home. The ministry has asked administration to identify spatial boundaries and prepare a detailed site plan which would facilitate compliance with thermal screening, physical distancing and sanitization. In case of rallies and immersion processions, the number of people should not exceed the prescribed limit and proper physical distancing and wearing of masks must be ensured. In any case, the number of such rallies and the distance covered by them may be kept within manageable limits. Events planned to last for many days or weeks such as exhibitions, fairs, puja pandals, Ram Leela pandals or concerts and plays should have adequate measures to ensure a cap on physical numbers. Staggered timings and restricted entry may be considered. Festive events will be permitted only outside the containment zones. The number of people who have recovered from COVID-19 in the country is now more than 56 lakh and it is the highest in the world. Briefing media in New Delhi this evening, Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan said the recovery rate is more than 84%. He said new recoveries have been more than the new COVID-19 cases in recent days.
औसत पॉजिटिविटी देखें, ये पॉजिटिविटी 8.28% से बढ़कर लगभग 9% से कुछ अधिक हो गई थी और अब घटकर पिछले सप्ताह ये 6.82% हो गई है। ये एवरेज डेली पॉजिटिविटी है। पिछले 2 सप्ताहों में प्रतिदिन जो एक्टिव केसेस हैं, यानी जो केसेस अस्पतालों में हैं या जो होम आइसोलेशन में हैं मेडिकल केयर में, उनका नंबर लगातार 10 लाख से नीचे बना हुआ है। तो ये भी एक गिरावट दिखा रहा है ट्रेंड में।
The Union Health Secretary said 10 states including Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh account for 77% of the active cases in the country. He said almost 1 in 2 of total COVID-19 deaths in the country are concentrated in 25 districts of 8 states, out of which 15 districts are in Maharashtra alone.
48% of total COVID deaths are concentrated in 25 districts of the country. And these 25 districts are in 8 states. जिन 25 जिलों में 48% मृत्यु कंसंट्रेटेड है, उनमें से 15 जिले महाराष्ट्र के हैं। तो केंद्रीय स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय का ध्यान राज्य सरकार के साथ इन जिलों पर केंद्रित है और हमने उनके साथ बैठक करके ये स्ट्रैटेजी बनाई है कि यहाँ किस प्रकार के विशेष उपाय किए जाने चाहिए जिससे इन मृत्यु दर को कैसे नियंत्रण में लाया जाए, कैसे नीचे लाया जाए।
Mr. Bhushan said more than 8 crore tests have been conducted and approximately 80 lakh tests were done in the last week. He said the number of tests is second highest in the world. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar today released the standard operating procedures regarding reopening of cinema halls in the country from 15th of this month. Briefing the media in New Delhi this morning, the minister informed that cinema halls would be allowed to function at 50% capacity as was earlier stated in the guidelines of the Home Ministry.
अगर 200 का स्क्रीन होगा तो 100 लोग आ सकेंगे। एक कुर्सी छोड़कर एक कुर्सी ऐसी बैठने की व्यवस्था होगी। उसके साथ सुरक्षित दूरी, मास्क और सैनिटाइजर, इसका उपयोग बाध्यकारी है।
The minister also informed that 1-minute clipping spreading awareness about protocols to be followed during COVID times will also be screened in the theatres and cinema halls both before the starting of the movie and during the interval. Mr. Javadekar said that single-screen cinema halls should ensure that multiple ticketing windows are made available for the visitors so that overcrowding could be avoided. He also stressed on promoting online medium for ticket booking as much as possible.
ज्यादा खिड़कियां खोलनी पड़ेगी टिकट बुकिंग के लिए और सभी जगह ऑनलाइन टिकट बुकिंग को एनकरेज किया जाएगा। स्टाफ का प्रोटेक्ट होगा, पैक्ड फूड मिलेगा और टेम्परेचर भी सबसे मुख्य है कि हवा का सर्कुलेशन चालू रहे, ये सुनिश्चित करना होगा। 23, 24, 25 इतना ही टेम्परेचर रख सकते हैं और उसके बाद एक क्रॉस वेंटिलेशन होगा, ये भी सुनिश्चित करना जरूरी है।
Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan today released National Clinical Management Protocol based on Ayurveda and Yoga for management of COVID-19. Speaking on the occasion, Dr. Harshvardhan said, this protocol dealing with preventive and prophylactic measures is a significant step in not only in management of COVID, but also in making traditional knowledge relevant to solving problems of the modern time. He said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also emphasized on following Ayush advisories for management of COVID-19 crisis. The minister expressed satisfaction with the inclusion of easily available and common Ayurvedic herbs and formulations like Guduchi, Ashwagandha, Ayush 64 in treating mild and asymptomatic COVID cases.
मॉडर्न सिस्टम ऑफ मेडिसिन उसकी अपनी ताकत है। उसने आधुनिक तरीके से बहुत सारे उपचार और बहुत सारी शल्य चिकित्सा लोगों के लिए उपलब्ध कराई है, जिसके कारण लोगों का जीवन बेहतर हुआ है। लेकिन आयुर्वेदा हमारा देश का प्राचीन ज्ञान है। इसका उल्लेख हम सब जानते हैं कि वेदों में है और लोग कहते हैं कि अथर्ववेद का इसको ऑफशूट माना जा सकता है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the National Clinical Management Protocol based on Ayurveda and Yoga for the management of COVID-19 is a commendable effort. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said it places emphasis on building immunity, remaining healthy and making the fight against COVID-19 stronger. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has stressed upon paying more attention on the districts where 50 to 100 COVID-19 cases are being reported daily. He also directed to carry out the relief and treatment work actively to control the COVID-19 infection. More from our correspondent.
Presiding over a high-level review meeting, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath directed to pay special attention to Lucknow and Kanpur Nagar districts and improve the COVID recovery rate. The Chief Minister asked the Chief Secretary to intensively monitor the Lucknow and Kanpur districts and submit a report to his office. Chief Minister said that the COVID-19 awareness programs should be carried out actively and intensively. Meanwhile, 3,663 new COVID cases have been found in his state in last 24 hours and 4,432 patients were discharged from different hospitals. Additional Chief Secretary Health Amit Mohan Prasad said that till date, more than 3,70,000 persons have recovered from COVID in his state and the recovery rate has increased to 88.07%. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Kerala continued to report spike in COVID cases as it confirmed 7,871 fresh COVID cases today. Meanwhile, COVID death toll in the state rose to 884 as 25 more deaths were reported today. The total number of active COVID cases rose to 87,738 in Kerala. 60,494 samples were tested in the last 24 hours. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar asserted that as vibrant and pluralistic democracies with shared values, the 4 Quad member nations have collectively affirmed the importance of maintaining a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. Dr. S. Jaishankar, in his opening remarks at the second Quad ministerial meeting in Tokyo, Japan, today said that the objective of the Quad member countries, which include India, United States, Japan and Australia, remains advancing the security and the economic interests of all the countries having legitimate and vital interests.
As vibrant and pluralistic democracies with shared values, our nations have affirmed collectively the importance of maintaining a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. We remain committed to upholding the rules-based international order underpinned by the rule of law, transparency, freedom of navigation in international seas, and respect for territorial integrity and sovereignty and peaceful resolution of disputes. Our objective remains advancing the security and the economic interests of all countries having legitimate and vital interests in the region. It is a matter of satisfaction that the Indo-Pacific concept has gained increasingly wider acceptance.
Dr. Jaishankar asserted that the meeting of 4 foreign ministers in person despite the global pandemic is a testimony to the importance that the Quad consultations have gained in recent times. He said the COVID-19 pandemic has brought about a profound transformation globally since the last meeting of the members last year. Dr. Jaishankar said the events of this year have clearly demonstrated the imperative need for like-minded countries to coordinate responses to the various challenges due to the pandemic. The External Affairs Minister said that India looks forward towards seeking collective solutions to global challenges including global recovery from the pandemic and reform of the multilateral institutions. The foreign ministers are holding discussions on important issues such as connectivity and infrastructure development, security including counter-terrorism, cyber and maritime security, and the stability and prosperity in the region. Dr. Jaishankar is on a 2-day visit to Tokyo which began today. More from our correspondent.
A group of 4 nations which was conceptualized in 2007 for quadrilateral security dialogues, better known as Quad, received a fresh impetus in 2017 when Prime Minister Narendra Modi, American President Donald Trump and their Australian and Japanese counterpart rejoined on the sidelines of the ASEAN summit. The member countries' primary aim is to uphold democratic values and maintain a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. The meeting of the foreign ministers of India, United States, Australia and Japan holds high significance amid the global pandemic. This is the second time the 4 foreign ministers met after their first meeting last year on the sidelines of the United Nations meet. The crucial meet will also embolden one of the most powerful and decisive union of nations in the recent times. Quad countries, including Australia and Japan, have already assured huge investment in India's infrastructure, technology and supply chain. With the United States also hailing India as a big power in the Indo-Pacific region, the Quad appears to have a pivotal role in reshaping the power dynamics of the world in the coming years. Anand Chaturvedi, AIR News, Delhi.
Earlier in the day, he met Secretary of State of the United States, Mike Pompeo, ahead of his joint meeting with the foreign ministers of the Quad countries.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. NDA finalizes seat sharing for Bihar Assembly elections. BJP to contest 121 seats, JDU to field candidates in 122 constituencies. Centre releases SOPs to contain spread of COVID-19 for upcoming festival season. Quad foreign ministers of India, USA, Japan and Australia meet in Tokyo, call for a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says new agriculture legislations will free farmers from shackles in marketing their products. And in IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians win the toss and elect to bat against Rajasthan Royals at Abu Dhabi. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
News Services Division of All India Radio brings to you program Employment News in association with the Publications Division, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. An effective platform for information on job vacancies, training programs, admission notices, results and career advice with experts. Every day at 4:20 p.m. on FM Gold and other frequencies and on our YouTube channel AIR News Official.
Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said the 3 new agricultural legislations brought by the centre would free the farmers from the shackles in marketing their products. Talking to reporters in Chennai this evening, she said comprehensive discussions were held with agricultural experts, farmers and various other stakeholders before bringing the legislations. She said the MSP mechanism will continue even while offering the farmers the option to sell their products to the traders of their choice in their own time wherever in the country. Ms. Sitharaman said the doubts about the buyers of the agricultural products through the contract farming mechanism having any say on the land holding of the farmers is totally unfounded. She stressed that the farmers will be safeguarded from the fluctuations of the prices for their products using the 3 new legislations.
MSP is there, it was there and it shall continue to be there. MSP is decided through various different formulae, one of which was recommendation given by the Swaminathan committee. But of course the CACP, which looks at the cost of price and production for agricultural products, also does its annual crop-based rigorous exercise, Kharif or Rabi. So every time they go through this motion based on the inputs which come from various Krishi Vigyan Kendras and research centers. So that aligns it with what the prices have to be based on the formula which the government uses for MSP.
The minister said various opposition parties incorporated the provisions of the new legislations in their election manifesto, though they are opposing them now with political intentions.
MSP was there earlier, but how was it? It's been there for a very long time. But it so got focused only on paddy and wheat that it led to also a distortion that many farmers who were otherwise growing coarse grains, oil seeds, who were otherwise growing pulses also moved to growing paddy and wheat. Because MSP was every year annually during each crop being increased only for these two. But there were other 20 crops which were also in the list of MSP. Under certain other governments, the focus was only on giving an increasing MSP for paddy and wheat. They didn't bother about others.
Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal today released the results of the first edition of National Startup Awards in New Delhi. The awards were given in 12 different sectors, which include agriculture, education, enterprise technology, energy, finance, food, health, industry, and urban services. The award in the category of agriculture productivity was given to Navdesign and Innovation Private Limited, while in the post-harvest agriculture category, the award was given to Intello Lab Private Limited. In clean energy sector, LOE Cell Private Limited received the award. Under the satellite technology sector, the award was given to Bellatrix Aerospace Private Limited. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Goyal said these awards will generate a lot of excitement and enthusiasm among young entrepreneurs engaged in setting up new innovative ideas through startups.
It's special because it is recognizing new ideas, innovation, new ways of work, things which have never been embarked upon before. This ceremony clearly is a recognition and celebration of this new ecosystem that's being developed. And India today boasts the third largest startup ecosystem in the world with over 21 unicorns and over $50 billion raised in terms of startup capital support in the last 5 years.
A historic memorandum of understanding was signed today between Indian Sign Language Research and Training Centre and NCERT to make education materials accessible for hearing impaired children in their preferred format of communication, Indian Sign Language. This MOU was signed in the virtual presence of Social Justice and Empowerment Minister Thawarchand Gehlot and Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank. Addressing on the occasion, Mr. Gehlot said that the signing of this MOU is a historic step as availability of NCERT textbooks in Indian Sign Language will ensure that hearing impaired children can also now access educational resources in Indian Sign Language. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Pokhriyal said that signing of MOU was converting NCERT educational materials into Indian Sign Language ensures educational standardization of Indian Sign Language as mandated in the New Education Policy 2020.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today had an interaction with President and CEO of Vestas Wind Systems, Henrik Andersen. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said both discussed a series of issues relating to the wind energy sector. The Prime Minister highlighted some of India's efforts to harness renewable energy in order to build a cleaner future for the coming generations. Prasar Bharati and Indian Farmers Fertilizers Cooperative Limited, IFCO, have signed an MOU to broadcast and promote new agriculture technology and innovations. According to the agreement, DD Kisan will broadcast various innovative techniques being adopted in agriculture field in easy language through 30 minutes program series for the benefit of farmers. To make the farmers Atmanirbhar, it is necessary that these new agriculture techniques and their implementation should be explained to the farmers. The MOU will help in achieving this objective. IFCO's innovations will be shared with farmers in easy language through DD Kisan in approximate 25 episodes. Principal Scientific Advisor to the government, Dr. K. Vijay Raghavan, stated this initiative as a historic step for the betterment of farmers. Prasar Bharati CEO Shashi Shekhar Vempati called this a matter of pride. He said through this medium, the information will be shared with the farmers in an easy language. Mr. Vempati said these programs will also be broadcast through digital medium so that the young farmers can benefit from the initiative. Managing Director of IFFCO, Dr. U.S. Avasthi, said that IFFCO has prepared alternative of urea, which is nanotechnology based and will help farmers. He said it is a matter of joy that the innovations which can benefit farmers immensely will now be broadcast on DD Kisan. Dr. Avasthi said it will also help to achieve the target of doubling the income of farmers by 2022. Director General of Doordarshan, Mayank Agrawal, said that the agreement will help to promote the innovations of scientists done in lab and experiment conducted by farmers in the field, which will help the young farmers. The News Services Division of All India Radio, in its bilingual live phone-in program today, will bring you a special discussion program on COVID-19. Dr. K. Srinath Reddy, President of Public Health Foundation of India, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone numbers 1-800-115767, repeat 1-800-115767. Chairman of the High Council for National Reconciliation of Afghanistan, Dr. Abdullah Abdullah, arrived in New Delhi today on an official visit to India. He is accompanied by a high-level delegation. During his visit, Dr. Abdullah will meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. In tennis, world number 131 Nadia Podoroska of Argentina became the first qualifier to reach the French Open women's singles semi-finals with victory against third seed Elina Svitolina of Ukraine. Podoroska, who had never won a Grand Slam main draw match before arriving in Paris, beat Svitolina 6-2, 6-4 in 1 hour and 19 minutes. In men's singles, the quarter-final match between Dominic Thiem and Diego Schwartzman is underway. In the Indian Premier League cricket, Mumbai Indians were 129 for 4 in 15.1 overs against Rajasthan Royals in Abu Dhabi when reports last came in. Earlier, Mumbai won the toss and elected to bat first. In Dubai last night, Delhi Capitals beat Royal Challengers Bangalore by 59 runs. Kolkata Knight Riders will face Chennai Super Kings in Abu Dhabi tomorrow. Now, let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital, Delhi, will have mainly clear sky. It will have a minimum temperature of 18 degrees Celsius and maximum of 36 degrees. In Mumbai, there will be generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature will be 25 degrees Celsius and the maximum 30 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between 26 and 37 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will witness a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature in the metropolis will be 26 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 33 degrees. On to the north, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature will be 17 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while the maximum will be around 35 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky. Srinagar and Ladakh will have mainly clear sky, while the temperature in Srinagar will hover between 5 and 27 degrees Celsius. In Ladakh, the minimum temperature will be -2 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 20 degrees. Gilgit will experience a mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between 7 and 30 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, there will be mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature will be 11 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 30 degrees. Government has rejected a viral WhatsApp message which claims that the government is providing free internet data to all students so that they can give online exams and complete their education amid COVID-19 pandemic. Press Information Bureau termed it as fake. It clarified that no such decision has been taken by the government. And now, before we close, the headlines once again. NDA finalizes seat sharing for Bihar Assembly elections. BJP to contest 121 seats. JDU to field candidates in 122 constituencies. Centre releases SOPs to contain spread of COVID-19 for the upcoming festival season. Quad foreign ministers of India, USA, Japan and Australia meet in Tokyo, call for a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says new agriculture legislations will free farmers from the shackles in marketing their products. And in the Indian Premier League cricket, Mumbai Indians win the toss and elect to bat against Rajasthan Royals at Abu Dhabi. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And that is all in the evening news. Good night.